one.
Let's go. This is my 80s podcast. You put the boom boom into my heart. If you love the 80s, you're exactly where you should be. So please, please, please take a look at this. My name's Jason, and this is, I nearly said back to the boom boom cupboard there, and this is You Put the Boom Boom into My... I'm here with Mark, and we're going to talk about, so we've been pressurising Mark for a long time to watch The Breakfast Club. He's not what... I know it's quite sad that he's not watched it, to be fair, isn't it? He's not watched it. So loads of us have been going on, especially the show that I do live, been going on about him doing it. So we've actually got Mark to watch it and review it. So Mark, what did you think?
So, great movie.
It's a good movie, isn't it?
But I still really think, I said this before I even watched it, and the reason why I've not watched it now after all these years.
You want about it at
I think
a time.
I needed to see it back in the day to really appreciate it. But it is a great movie.
But when you think, what I always find really great about it is like, there's not many characters. There's just them five in the odd time that teacher comes in, doesn't it? And and I think the soundtrack when obviously is a great soundtrack, isn't it? When they're doing all the dancing bit at the back. And I think you're right. I mean, it's like, that's why I always think you could never redo that film ever.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't, it's like you said, you've got all them different characters. John Hughes was just brilliant in that time, wasn't it? When he made all them sort of films. So what did you like about it? So what was it about it that you liked about it, or what was it that you didn't? Because I mean, I've spoken to you. Some people don't like some of the stuff that's in it, and some people love it.
It's great. I like any movies in that situation where it's mainly based like in one room sort of thing, which it more or less is. But, I mean, it's a bit stereotypical. And like, there's a jock, a sporty one, a geeky one, like a princess,
a mad one.
And yeah, exactly.
But that's of the time, though, isn't it? Because you wouldn't do that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's great. Obviously, price of it mainly is these people who don't really know each other that well. They're doing detention together. They find out they've a lot more in common than they think they have, especially with the parenting and stuff like that. Obviously, they make that bond.
And that's what I loved about it, because it was like, especially in the, I mean, I didn't think I ever had attention in the 80s, but when you watch that, and it's like, I love the fact, because they're all from completely different backgrounds. I mean, you had like I mean, she was off her head. I mean, she didn't speak for the first 20 minutes of the film. She just,
longer, I think, but
it was, and I didn't realise, because you know the scene in there where she shakes all her hair and all the dandruff comes out. That was cheese.
Was it?
They use
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Parmesan cheese.
But I think that's what I love, because you can. I mean, no matter where you could relate to one of the characters. You know what I mean? And even, I mean, when was all it's not so bad now. I think it's more now. But then we used to have the little princessy ones, didn't we? That's that Hank, you know what I mean? Everyone thought was the popular girl, and then you had the geeky bloke.
Yeah. And I mean, go on. Yeah.
No, and the jock, which is typical of American, isn't it?
And a reoccurring theme in it was that pressure. It was like, you know, oh, are you still a virgin? And you know what I mean? At that stage of high school, you are under that pressure to be like, you know, it's really weird. So you can all relate to it, yeah. And
it's quite, and I think what I loved about it, it was like, because I didn't realise, you know, the bit where they were smoking their
when they get stoned,
I think it was oregano. It was, and it was all that whole episode. No, that scene was all ad-libbed.
Was it?
Literally, they didn't even. I remember watching a thing and reading about it. They just ad-libbed it because you're supposed to obviously be a little bit off your head, aren't you?
Yeah.
So they just he let them do whatever they wanted to with it. And I thought how brilliant is that, because you wouldn't do that. But I did like, and the jock as well. I mean, that's just typical of when you was growing up in the 80s, wasn't you? And it's like, I love the fact we have moved on from that, but they were very of a time, wasn't they? You said,
definitely,
and then you had the bloke that was the rebel, wasn't he? the one that didn't care what came out of his mouth or what he said.
That's right.
And I was a bit like you. I love the fact that from all these different walks of life, they all had so much in common, which was what they didn't. You know what I mean? They didn't think that they would have that in common.
Exactly.
And it just goes to show, doesn't it? We all judge people, don't we? I mean, 'cause when I first watched it and seen that woman, I thought, she ain't right. She's flicking all stuff out.
Because she does that brilliant picture, doesn't she? That snow scene.
And then, like, you know, and then she goes like,
and it does look brilliant, the picture after she's done it. But
and I just think over time for the Breakfast Club, and I think John Hughes was absolutely amazing at his imagination, wasn't he? And I didn't realise that. I mean, that was written in quite quickly. The Breakfast Club, believe it or not, because I think a lot of it was ad libbed. And then we had, they all, I mean, Molly was in a lot of stuff, wasn't she, at the time?
Is that the girl that was in Pretty in Pink and stuff?
Yeah, Molly Ringwald. I want to say Ringwald. It is Ringwald. And do you know, I didn't realise, you know, the young lad that was the geeky lad?
Yeah.
He was in Weird Science.
Weird Science,
he went, I think he went out with Molly at the time.
Oh, really?
That. So, yeah, I was reading some stuff about that, but I do love all the thing, and we've all been pressurized. You can tell. I can say to people now, he's watched it. He watched. But it's a fun film, isn't it? And this is what I said. You would never be able to remake that.
I will say this: I wish I had watched it back in the day. I really do.
I
really do.
I think, like you said, you'd have probably connected a lot more with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Watching it in the day, and I think as we've got older, life's just like completely different, isn't it? But I think when I have to be honest, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I think I watched it a couple of years later because I just kept thinking The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
it didn't. You know what I mean? I know it was going to be called The Lunch Summit. I think they had another name for it before. Yeah, before it became The Breakfast Club. And I was a bit late to the show. I didn't watch it, but I think if you'd have watched it now, you can still. I mean, you know, we 80s and you go back to it all. But I think if you, like you said, if you'd have watched it then, you'd have probably had that.
I'm convinced it would have been one of the movies I would have watched and still watched if it come on TV tonight, sort of thing.
I mean, when I watched it, I mean, I've watched it so many times, you know. When people say
I can't tell it back then.
Yeah, I said I can't tell you how many times I've watched it, but for me, I just think the casting was great. Because they were all, because they were all like, and I'm sure I read that they were going to have so the rebel bloke was going to be played by someone else, and I can't remember who it was, but he was quite famous, and I was thinking, I'm so glad they didn't, because he was great at that.
He was great,
and he even like they had loads of quotes, like what did he say? Don't teach you something about the bull and the horns. You don't play the bull by the horns, you'll get the horn.
Yeah.
But he was another one. But it's like even when they were running about like the school, and you obviously see like the caretaker there, and then they obviously did the singing, weren't they? And the dancing. Sorry, not singing. They were doing the dance, and for me, because I love that song. I mean, that song is an absolute classic song, isn't it?
And that's when it turns a little bit into when they first start, when in Norway, they know they're not going to all make it back, and he kind of takes bullet for them and says, "They'll only catch me." And that's when you first like see that different side to him, and then they start kind of bonding and gelling, don't they?
Because they just think he's like I said, he's not had a great life.
No.
You know what I mean? But then when you hear like, even though Molly's character is very prim and proper, she's not really had a. No, her life's not brilliant, and then obviously the stranger girl. Do you know what? That's got to be I always think that's got to be an absolute great part, because you didn't really say much for the first. I'm sure about 20 minutes, and obviously then you did, but it's. You know what I mean? And then and like you said, you got the weird lad, and you got your geek, and then you got the jock, and they were all people that we all saw. I mean, we never.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think we called them jocks in the UK. I can't remember what they were called.
No. I don't think we had a name for them really, but
America called them like jocks, didn't they? And then called them like, you know what I mean? And I do love the film. I am so glad that. You can tick that off your list now and go, I've watched that. And
you're going to have to find something else to pick on me for.
We've got Grease 2 for you, mate.
Oh, yeah. I forgot, yeah.
Have you not watched that? You've not tortured yourself with that yet, have you?
I might watch that tomorrow, actually, because my delivery didn't show. So, yeah, I might watch it tomorrow, that, yeah.
Mark.
I have seen it back in the day once, probably.
You won't want to watch it, mate, if you're being honest. I have to be honest.
No, but I'm going to do it. Everybody else has done theirs.
So, yeah. So you watched Grease. I mean, Grease 2 was just...
I mean, at least you didn't give me Oz 2 or whatever it's called. What do they call it? That Wizard of Oz one.
No, I mean, I think Nick's going to be doing Return to Oz. I have to be honest, that freaked me out more than anything. And it was just, for me, and she'll probably say it when she's watched it, I felt like I was tripping.
Yeah.
I literally felt like I was watching a load of different... It felt like there were loads of different stories from different films all put into one. And it just...
didn't work.
No, so at least you enjoyed it. It was a good film.
I did, basically. You know what? So I'll give it 3.5 out of 5 because I should have seen it back in. I'm convinced I would have gave it 5 out of 5 otherwise. To be honest, it is a good movie.
I think a lot of people. I mean, it's like we said before. A lot of people I know that said I loved it now, but they've seen it and they said when you first watch it, when you're that age, because obviously it came out when a lot of us were that age.
More.
Yeah, you got more relatability to it, aren't you? You can just think, I absolutely love that film. But I think, do you know what? Well done for watching it. And
no, it was a good film, good movie.
Grease 2's not going to be as good a chat as this one. Grease 2. I think Nick actually got the worst deal. I think more than anything.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Out of all that, but thanks ever so much for coming on, Mark.
No
and
problem.
Thanks ever much for reviewing it, and I'll speak to you later. Take care.
Mate.
Bye.
Take care, you too. Bye.
How brilliant was that? So if you love the 80s like I do, please go over to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts and give me a share, a like, and a comment, and a subscribe, and also follow me. I'll come back now. You hear?